What's going on, everyone? So Maxwell Lewis going into Summer League this year was exciting to kind of keep an eye on, right? It was like, man, he's the rookie that, I know a lot of people are really down on Jalen Hood-Schifino. I'm not as down on Jalen Hood-Schifino as others are, but I understand sentiment. I just think Jalen Hood-Schifino hasn't really gotten an opportunity. But it was like, okay, we're not going to get Jalen Hood-Schifino, but Maxwell Lewis, right? What is he going to be, right? He was the guy that arguably the Lakers should have taken at 17. Now, the guy Pepperdine was really good, right? Has the athleticism, could be a legit two-way player in this league, 3-and-D guy, right? Like, let's go. Let's see the strides, right? We saw Max Christie the previous year look like he was clearly the best player on the court. Let's go. We're going to see that with Maxwell Lewis. And out the gate, he looked like it, right? I mean, he was blowing by guys, beating guys off the dribble, getting to the basket as much as he wanted to, right? I mean, he looked spectacular in that first quarter. And then after that, it just kind of was downhill from there. And it's actually very disappointing in my opinion. Now, look, this isn't something where it's like, oh, Maxwell Lewis, he's a bust, he's trash, he's this. No, it's just the expectations from year one to year two is that you see some level of improvement. Now, on the surface, you could look at it and go like, there really wasn't. But if you really paid close attention, there was, right? Like if you really analyzed Maxwell Lewis this summer league, there were clear strides. Again, you saw a little bit more confidence, another level of confidence. You saw him and his ability to get to his spots, to blow by the defender, to create. But he still is a guy that has a lot of work ahead of him. Still a guy that needs to continue to improve and progress. He's going to be in the G League another year, maybe even two, unless he takes some real strides. But you saw the potential and versatility, right? His shot doesn't look bad. His shot was nice. He just, again, couldn't hit shots. And so it was like, like you were hoping that you'd see the beginning stages, at least, of that legit 3-and-D guy. You saw the defense. You saw the hustle. You see the athleticism, right? I mean, the kid is an athlete for sure. And he's a guy that I do think is going to be, at worst, probably, a backup 3-and-D guy. I think he'll be a guy that is very valuable on the Lakers in the near future, or hopefully the near future. He's still only 21 years old, right? Like you could literally still develop this kid for another 3 years, right? Oh, I guess he'll be 22 in July, but for another 2 years, let's say, you could develop him and he'd be as old as Dalton Connect, right? Like you're in a good position with him, right? If he was like 25, 26 and we saw that, it'd be like, all right, I think you need to cut him. Not cut, you can't, he's not guaranteed, but you get my point. Like, hey, maybe we should look to start moving off of him. I still like his upside. I still like his potential. I still think he's a guy that, could easily slot in at the 3 and be that legit 3-and-D guy. Again, his shot was fine. It just was something that he couldn't knock down with consistency. And it's something that he didn't look very comfortable in. Right now, a lot of that could have been just his shot wasn't falling and he's young. And, you get into your head and, the expectations. I'm sure he's aware of the expectation. Like, hey, they want to see me really go out here and ball. They want to see me really go out here and do my thing and show that, like, hey, I can be a guy. And, you kind of have the domino effect where, you look good right out the gate, feeling confident, feeling good. And then it's like, the first domino falls. All right, no big deal. Let's go. Second domino falls. Right? And then all of a sudden, it's just everything's toppling. And you're just like, oh no, right? Like, again, he's young, right? But to me, I think a lot of Maxwell Lewis's issues was just the not allowing the game to come to him, right? He looked more like a guy that was trying to make the team rather than a guy that's already on the team. And look, I even said this for Max Christie, 2 summer leagues ago or whatever it was, right? Not the second year where he looked great. Talk about his first year, right? Like, and you see that a lot with these young guys, with these rookies, right? Like, you need to just let the game develop, right? Like, Summer League is all about trying to make an impression, right? 99% of the guys that are on and in Summer League and on these various teams are never going to see more than the G League at best, right? A lot of those guys are going to go overseas. A lot of those guys are never going to see an actual NBA basketball court beyond Summer League. And, you know, so you see these guys try to do too much. Try to ball out and, oh, let me show you I could go drop 30, and and I mean, even the commentator in some of the Laker games was like, yeah, anybody can score, right? Because it's true. Like, anybody can score. Anybody can go and knock down the occasional three. What else can you do? Right? Like, what else can be done? Like, if you could shoot the three ball, but you can't do anything else, then it's irrelevant. Right? Like, there's lots of great 3-point shooters that never made it to the league just because, again, they couldn't do anything else. So, to me, Maxwell Lewis, I liked what we saw from him in the sense of, like, you saw his ability to do other things, particularly defend. He definitely needs to continue to stay more focused on the defensive side of things. He can kind of lose his attention at times, but you saw the defense, you saw his athleticism, right? You saw his ability to get to the rim, to apply pressure, his ability to get to his spots. You saw that he is a guy that can continue to make the plays and the passes, right? Continue that hockey assist and keep the ball pushing and moving, which are things that you want to see, right? And it's just like, if he can just kind of hone everything, slow it down, right? Just let things come in and develop. Again, you're not somebody that's trying to make the team. You're somebody that is on the team. You're not somebody that needs to make this big impression, this big splash, right? Like, you're a guy that I felt like he was just rushing stuff, trying to do too much, and trying to show, like, oh, like, look, I could be a guy that could be, a starter this year. And it's like, that's not going to happen. It's understanding the situation, the common phrase, like, you got to read the room, right? Like, that's what I feel like with Maxwell Lewis. I feel like he's a guy that didn't do a good job of reading the room, right? Like, you don't have to play like all these other guys that are trying to, right? Like, even if you dropped 7 points, had like 2 steals and, 4 rebounds and, a couple, block and, and you really staffed the stat sheet, and you did all these versatile things, right? Even if your shot isn't falling great, like, and you're taking better shot selections and you're just kind of just showing your all-around game, that's going to go and bode a lot better than the way that he played and performed, right? Because realistically, he's not going to get major significant minutes this season. Even if he balled out in Summer League, he probably isn't going to get like major minutes. Right? If he balled out and looked really good, is it possible that maybe he got, sparing minutes here and there? Sure. Right? But more likely than not, he's at best going to be the 3rd or 4th backup at the small forward position, right? But the disappointment is in not seeing the major steps, the major strides. But look, everybody develops and grows differently, right? Some guys take 3-4 years to really start hitting their stride. And then they just have that moment, that game where you're just, the light bulb turns on and it's like, hold on, like, this guy is something here. And that's what I think he can potentially become, right? I think, you give him another year or two to really develop, and I think you'll really start to see those strides. Again, he's 6'7", he's got good size, good length, good athleticism, right? He's still very young. In the G League, he looked good in the G League, right? He gave you 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in the G League. It's a guy that he shot, I think it was like 40%, 42% from the field, 36% from 3-point range, right? Like, can continue to make those improvements, continue to make those strides, continue to show everything that you can do. He averaged 1.3 steals and 1.3 blocks in the G League. Again, G League is not the actual NBA, but it's a good sign when your young guy is doing well in the G League, right? If he's kind of looking like a bum in the G League, chances are he's probably going to never make it to the NBA, right? Like, you want to see him start having strides. And I'd like to see him go play in the G League some more and really kind of just, again, let the game come to you, but show the confidence. I don't mind the young man going in there and, trying to show and display what he's capable of, right? I don't mind him wanting to, and having that sort of angst to, like, I need to prove my, like, I don't mind that, but you don't want it to be to your detriment. You don't want it to be to a point where it's like, I had a good opportunity here and I squandered it. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But he's still incredibly young. Again, I look for him more to be in the G League, hanging out in the G League. You could get some minutes here and there, especially if a guy misses a game or something. Sure, right? I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind if, random game here and there, he gets 15, 20 minutes just because we're a guy short. Kind of throw him to the wolves. Let him see if he can crawl out of the fire a little bit. It's the only way these guys are really going to take those strides and learn. But we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Were you disappointed in what you saw in Maxwell Lewis? Do you think, he's young, he's clearly talented, he's clearly gifted. He'll come around. He'll figure it out. He'll start to develop better and put himself in a better position. Do you think that, he's basically he's just spent all his time in the G League? Would you like to see him, give the kid a couple minutes here and there? Obviously, it's got to be more than just garbage time. You'll probably see the court in garbage time. But, I want to see, what can he do if you give him 10 minutes in the league? Right? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he somewhere in between? But anyway, again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.